Welcome. A disappointing draw, but yeah, the boys tried. But yeah, without wasting time, welcome Oliver, welcome Al, welcome Carlos. Carlos, oh, Abadona, Carlos Watch. Yeah, in Inangu, yes. Is Maswani say injured? What's happening with our team selection? Because there seems to be some strange picks that are going on. Are there injuries that we don't know of? What's going on? What's your
Injury,
take on
injuries
the
after
starting?
defeat you hear soon.
We have to, of injuries.
Injuries
Carlos,
after defeat.
do you
Uh,
start on? You can go ahead.
as I was saying, guys, nastaroirwa mulingi lingi edu yanga yakadhakwa.
In English, please.
Yeah, go to English, please. Try English because we've. Oh, Abadona foot. You
Uh,
fall. Okay. Who wants to start to give us a breakdown of the starting 11? And then we go on.
Al, you can go on.
Okay. So the lineup was good. I liked it when I saw it when it came out, and we were discussing on the group that about the formation, the possible formations that could be, and then that 3-5-2 was a disaster. It was never going to happen, and thank God it didn't happen. And then I think he went in the end. He went with a 4-3-3 with
Yeah.
Nakamba, Fabish, and Musona in midfield, and then Macaulay Bonne, and then Biol Antonio and Dube as the front forwards, which was
Yeah.
a good lineup. But at some point, I would have liked to see him switch to a 4-2-3-1. Push
Yeah.
one of the midfielders up forward and look for that goal, for that winning goal. Because we were balanced, we were 1-1.
Yeah.
And in the game, there was nothing to separate the two teams. So if he had pushed a little bit, one of the midfielders further forward, probably we would have gotten a goal. And of course, the chances that we wasted, we could. Bill Antonio, number one, he just lacked composure on that one. You see, we
Yeah.
could have been talking about 2-1 right now, but it is what it is. Because after he cut inside of that defender, the goal was wide open for him. It was just a
Yeah.
simple tap in. The left side of the goalkeeper was exposed. He didn't even need to put force. It was
Yeah.
just a tap in, but he went with power, and then unfortunately it went over the bar. So we played very well, and I was impressed with how the boys played. And I know some guys were not impressed by Fabish, but you see, earlier on when he was dropping deep into the defense, like and being a central defender,
Center up. Yeah.
it was because two of their strikers were doubling up on Takwara. So there will be two players, two strikers, all being marked by Takwara. And when you saw that, you would then drop in to even up the numbers. But as soon as that ball is cleared, he ran back into midfield, into his position. So I thought,
Oh, so
yes,
in another saying, I can understand you because it seems like we're like in the first half. There were moments we could be five center backs, five defenders. People were like lining at back like back five, which means on the other side, I can understand he's not kind of a defensive link man. He's more of an offensive, more of a number eight. He started to play well when he was now pushing forward. Am I with you, on that one?
yeah. Yes, I get exactly what you are saying. That naturally, I think like you are saying, he's more of a number eight. But with the formation that we are playing today, he was more defensively. Further later into the game, he started playing further forward, and like you are saying, he is a number eight, more like a box to box going forward, go dropping deep.
But
But
but today, But today I have to give good praise to Nakamba. Today he played well. He played well. He was destroying each and every attack possible. He was covering. He was covering. He covered a lot of distance today. Today he played very, very well. And secondly, I could say like with this formation, I think to twist a little bit, I was thinking maybe he should have done like to play what do you call it? Antonio as a wing back. He was a wing back and
with a back
put
three.
no like, sort of like a back three. Like Jalai drops inside as a link, like he drop inside. He play as a midfielder. Like he drop inside to play as a midfielder. If you check the last 30 minutes of the game, Prince Duo was now playing as a wing back. Jalai inside playing as a defensive linkman, while what do you call it, Fabish forward. Fabish and Tawanda and Chirewa, they were more offensive, while Jalai was playing right sided of the midfielders. If you check it, Prince Due was now playing that role. I don't know if you understand me correctly.
Okay. Oh, you're
Probably we
saying
saw a different game, but for me, the reverse is actually true because you can't put Bill Antonio, who's an attacking winger, to come to right back. Because if you notice the last, probably we were seeing a different way and or we had our different formations. But to me, I think what I can take from this is Jalai was actually very well disciplined and he played very well to the back, given the fact that last game he played in the midfield going forward and trying to assist the back forward, the back one, the
No, no,
back
no, no.
guys.
What I'm
Then
saying,
if you look at if
eh?
you can I finish? Uh,
yeah.
then if you look at Nakamba was so disciplined to the extent that he was actually keeping his position very well. Though Fabish was supposed to be doing the dirty work of cleaning in front, but we ended up having two defensive midfielders right in front of us. Then if you look at Teenage Hadeb, I think the fatigue and the statements from last game got the best out of him to the extent that even when he was supposed to be composed, it didn't actually come out very, very well. But I think kudos to Galloway. You know, when Galloway got in, you could actually see that we're starting play right from the back and going forward. Then I think going forward, I think Bill Antonio needs to be told to say, you know what, it's not only about you. Just like what the Nigerians were saying, it's not only about you, it's about the team. Because Bonnie was open and he needed not to push force twice. He has actually failed to pass on the ball and he wanted to shoot. So that exposes us. Then why they should not have stage fright. You know, you can't have a substitute who comes in and get a yellow. You see, that on its own tells you that pressure is just hanging in. But I wonder why the coach left Musendami, who was the hit in the previous game. Why the coach is excluding the top goal scorer of Scotland at Motherwell at the moment. It does it boggles the mind to think of that. Thank you.
Oh, why? Oh, do you have any idea or have you heard anything? Is there anything wrong with Pana Tawanda Maswani said that the coach is ignoring him all this game?
It baffles me as well. I don't even know why that boy is being left out. You see, today we could have started with him and Bill Antonio as the wingers, Prince as the number 10, and we could have argued in a 4-2-3-1, and we could have argued for Musona to start on the bench and then come on in the second half. You see, because Mfana where is prolific, is the definite right now. Arim in form. You see, my goals are ku Scotland Motherwell. They say it all. You see, let Atina Mfana unozema masukira aneta van. Just put them on their back foot. like what Bill Antonio did when he ran from his own box with that ball, the chance he has or Taza, yeah. Maswani says capable of that. So you have those two white men which causing havoc on the flanks, and then Macaulay Bonny running into behind the strikers. We could have had something, but it baffles me to think why is he being left out.
Yeah.
Only the coach would know why. Because to think of Nasi, he didn't even get a minute, not even a single minute. The
Yeah.
last game he got 6 minutes. It's just baffling. You
Yeah.
cannot understand. You cannot justify that decision. But Ameno maybe he's seeing something in trainings, and to him it's
Yeah.
justified. And then like Gona said, Musendami should have had at least a portion of the game that he would have played. He should have come on maybe last 20 minutes, last 30 minutes. But again, we didn't get to see him. Having had a good game like that he had in the previous game, you would only
Yeah.
think that it would boost his confidence if
Can,
it was put on again and then he gets to play in this game. But unfortunately, it wasn't so. So it seems like there are things that we are not aware from the coach's
Yeah.
perspective that are happening in
can I
the camp.
Yeah.
All
Maybe.
right,
can
Go
go.
I
ahead,
ask
Carlos.
can I ask you all of a question? All
Yeah.
of you, maybe you will answer me. Uh, our type of play, is it sustainable for a long period? That, are we gaining something from this kind of play, or is just helicopter football? Because
Um.
with that kind of football we are playing,
Yeah.
majority of our players, I can see that majority of our players, they are not happy with that kind of play. They're just playing for the sake of playing. If you could see that some of some of the players, they were not even listening to the coach's instruction.
Yeah.
Are you
But I
seeing a
don't
future
think
in this?
with
I,
this type of play. I get you, but I don't think I don't think I don't think the players don't want to play well. I think the players do want to play well, but I think we discussed on the group. There is a realism that we need to have as Zimbabwe and as Zimbabweans in terms of the status or the status of our game as it stands today. If you check that Angolan team, I think I posted on the group last night. 11 out of the 10 out of the 11 Angola players, they are playing in proper leagues. They play in the Turkish leagues, they play in the Spanish leagues, they play in the Italian leagues. And our midfield today, it had Nakamba. I, I, I hope we are not going to sound like a broken record, but Nakamba is a player for Luton who's not been playing. I think he has played only one full game this year, this season, and that one full game that Nakamba played was a cup game. So Nakamba is not match fit. That's a concept that we need to understand as Zimbabweans. You just don't come from where you are coming from and come into the international stage and then expect to play against players who have been match fit, who are playing for their clubs, and then be able to match their intensity. So our players do want to play, but will be under pressure. If you saw that guy, Fred, the dreadlocked one from Angola, that guy was like a Duracell bunny. If you saw him in the last game they played against South Africa, that guy is a Duracell bunny. The other guy who they brought in, I think in the second half, Maestro, is a very physical guy. He's a Duracell bunny. He's match fit. We have ours. We have Mfana Jonah. Jonah plays in the German third division. It's a good league, but it's not it's not a top league. And in that league, Mfana Jonah plays one game this week, then the next week he will come off the bench. So playing tournament football is playing every 4 games. So again, uh, we are coming against players who are much fitter. And uh, look at South Africa, look at Egypt, look at Angola. They are players who have been playing together for a long time. They've got cohesion. They know Kuti Basadatumbo, before they even pass the ball, they know that such and such is making this type of run, such and such is making this type of run. So our players do want to play, but they will be under pressure against top opposition. That's what I think. Kelvin, welcome. Can you
Hello.
please give us a breakdown of how we lined up and the tactical makeup of the team?
Do you know, I'm not going to say much, regarding that because I was watching, but because I'm at work here, so I had a few emergencies here and there, so it was kind of stop and start, and such that the last 30 minutes I barely watched in the last 30
Okay.
minutes, and so but I was watching in bits here and there, but. Yeah, so it's a bit annoying for me because you know me. When I watch the game, I really want to see everything so that I can have a proper picture of how things
Yeah.
happen. But from when I would say I watched, sort of more sort of consecutively. Yeah, the I was uncomfortable with the fact that we were sitting too deep. I don't mind, I understand tournament football. Uh, Going back to what you said about the fact that we've got to cut our cloth accordingly. Yeah, I think we rate ourselves too highly, more than where we are. In a collective capacity, we could have players who match other opposition in terms of where they play and all that, but our team is a new team when it comes to tactics, and actually understanding. I always use the words second nature. Second nature is very important because when you use second nature, you do things without even thinking about it. You do things, even a pass, a midfielder will put a ball in a space because he knows that if I'm playing with such and such a striker, he's in there. But then when you don't know each other, it's like you having to lift your head and say, is he there? If he's not there, then I'm not going to put the ball. But if he's there, then I'll put the ball. And there's no sort of anticipation a lot of times. So when I'm looking at our side, I understand that the coach is trying to not lose a match, and then we try to go and win a match. That is creating a situation where we being too defensive instead of we can be defensive, but if we too defensive, it becomes a problem because there's a time when Jonah, I think you mentioned it, Jonah was sitting almost like in between the center halves.
Center
What
backs.
it does now is when we win the ball, if Jonah had like 2-3 yards ahead of the center halves, if we win the ball, he can be an outlay for us to start play from there, and then we go into the offensive midfielders into attack. But then when he's sitting it with the defenders there, they can't play the ball there. So that's one man out. So the only option now is to we're going high. And that created a problem in itself because many a times if you're going high, it's either the one who you're leaving up is not a bony type, and you're putting it in a space where it's running into space, or you're putting onto the target, which is bony. Yeah.
Yeah.
the It was the wrong ball being played into there because it was being played into channel and into the wrong channel as well. So
Yeah.
we never seemed comfortable because we were just giving them the ball back. And one of the things that didn't help us as well is that uh, you know I I rate Musona for everything that is done, and you can see the worldy
Yeah.
superb goal that is scored. Yeah, but that peppers over cracks on then if you remove that goal, what then it could do for us. Because the problem is that you having Jonah, uh, Nakamba, and Musona in there. And if Jonah does touch tight, the other two were not doing touch tight. Mave, his levels have gone so low. I don't know what's happening with him, but probably it's due to not playing, because I know match fitness is very important. Some people say, oh, yeah, you know what, he should be match fit. They've been training for a long time and all that. But match fitness is about blowing your lungs through a 90-minute game, through a 60-minute game and all. And it just seems like he's lacking that, because he can't do touch tight. And what it made Jonah look like stupid, because he was trying to overcompensate for midfield, which was very weak. Yeah, because we can have Musona. Musona will do his thing, when he's on the ball. But we basically play with two-man midfield, because he's not really winning anything, off the ball. And now it doesn't help as well that Marve is not actually as Marve that we know. If Marve was the Marve we know, and Jonah is doing his thing, and two of them are really tight on the midfielders, and then we've got a Musona who probably not be so great, without the ball, it wouldn't be so bad. But the bad
But
thing is, we have
did the
two
coach
midfielders.
have any options like for midfield? Because I think there was a point that we could clearly see that our midfield was being overpowered. Does he have any options off the bench to do some changes? Say Jonah was tired, we could all see Jonah is tired, but does he have any options?
The options aren't great, but you can look at what you could have done, because at the end of the day, the options are not great, but you can still have options. For me, what I thought is that you can't excuse the fact that football nowadays is very fast and furious, like the ways that he is. So even there in midfield, there was a lot of hard running in there, and Prince did a good job the last game when he was in there, because what he was doing is he was forceful. He was always, on the defensive midfielder straight on. He was onto him. So our midfield wasn't giving them the chance to play. But today, they had more time to play, more than Egypt had,
Yeah.
and that didn't help us. So yeah, like I said, I know someone was saying, "Oh, we're waiting for Mushi because he's going to defend the coach." It's not about defending the coach, and I think people misunderstand the things that I say. I talk about things from a coaching point of view, and I'm putting myself in his shoes, and I'm thinking, what is he thinking? It doesn't mean that I agree with him what he's doing, but I'm trying to think what he is thinking. So on that part, it wasn't that great. But
Yeah.
saying that, when we played, when we tried to play, we looked like we a massive threat. We really looked like a massive threat. So you, personally, I feel that with time, and I hope that you know uh, this happens where that same group of players, collectively as a squad, stays together. And obviously, the older ones are going to come out. But I think with time, we are going to get better. We are going to get better. I think we're just expecting too much over a side that one has got a new coach. Zimbabwe wasn't playing 3-5, 2 or 3-4-3, whatever, however you want to, because it varies. It ends up sometimes being a four, or being a four with the three midfielders at all. We've not been sort of rotating systems like we're doing now, so it's going to need time. But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know. It's annoying, but on the other hand, I see a little progress. But we need to keep the ball.
Yeah.
We we just need to keep the ball. I think we're not keeping the ball. We are better than what we look sometimes,
Yeah.
but maybe confidence is key, because once we are confident and we actually believe that we can play and we can head teams, then we will. Because some passages of play that I saw there, I was thinking, wow,
Yeah.
that's decent. This is, but we can't do it. We can't do that once every 20 minutes. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Consistency. Yeah, consistency. Al, can you describe the goal, or do you have any take on the goal?
Which one?
The goal by Musona, from
Oh
the
yes,
assist from
that
Bill.
was a beautiful goal. That was a beautiful goal. The build-up of that goal was brilliant. I think it was Nakamba who found Bill Antonio, and then Bill Antonio with the cross to Musona and the touch and the finish. We know he's got that in him. You know, from past what we have seen in
Yeah,
the past, Musona is capable of finishing like that, and I really loved it. And that's bravery. You see, that's what you get with bravery. If you throw caution to the wind and just go for it, don't be scared and just show who you are. You know, we know that Musona has got those qualities in him. Bill Antonio, he's shown his qualities already in this game, like from the start. I know if he failed to finish that finish, but it will come with time. You know, nokufamba kwenguva anotanga kuita more composed. He will calm down. You see, my players like Mushe said haven't played together for a long time, and with time, chatanga kunzwanana how we play. Vanotanga kuonana kuti okay, ninga akadai so ini ndodai so, ninga akadai so ini ndodai so. We are end up. Then sometimes before the ball comes to you, and then you just don't even take a touch. You just put it in that space because you know sooner or later it's going to arrive there. You see, that comes with playing together for a long time. And
yeah,
we should not forget that we have players like Mnetz who are going to come back into this team and Rino Mota. You see, Pawia, when Galloway came on, you see,
what a difference.
there was automatically a difference. You see, we now have a ball playing center back, and
Yeah,
then we have someone like Rino Mota in midfield. Already our ball carrying becomes better. So we can only we can only hope to improve from this point of going forward.
yeah,
So I hope whatever happens in this tournament, whether we get to the knockout stages or we are knocked out, but what we should focus on is when we have the entire squad at the coach's disposal.
oops. We seem to have lost now for a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Um, yeah, you can go on.
Okay. So I was saying like it's gonna be interesting how we are going to play from here forward. I was looking at really giving this coach time after this tournament because realistically he didn't have enough time to prepare for this tournament. So as he's doing right now, what he's doing right now is like thinking on the go. Like Zukita Zvetsuro ya Mukira Makumba is just like, oh,
Who wants to hear
what do I
that?
do now? Yeah.
Who wants to hear that in Zimbabwe? Oh, we've lost our.
But
Um,
can I just come in? Kev, you said you're going to be controversial. True, you today you are. Mave played a very wonderful game today, even though Fabish appeared to be probably we believed our own lie as a country to say good it's not gonna bora, and also Fabish the way how he played the first game made us believe could know he can actually win other tests. But today, yes, he played the second half he was there, but the first half
yeah,
it appears as if they were actually duplicating to the extent that we ended up having them too deep, and the Angolians were coming heavy on us, leaving a very big gap. You notice that knowledge, Dube, they are all strikers. Knowledge, Dube, Boni, we ended up having them as strikers, but not as good midfielders who can actually create play. Then when the goal that you're talking about, and I think you could actually see the striker's instincts in Musona when he went up front.
yeah,
Kuti anangotambisa chances because Fabish saw this had two chances similar to the ones Razogoeswa Musona, and he managed to fumble them achinda over mamwe acho asina kumbotora time. But I think that's where you find experience coming in to say the way how he got hold of the ball, he placed the ball, I pick a spot yake and then place the ball right on the far corner. You could actually see that this is not only about soccer, this is about brilliance and experience coming in. But I think he had a very good game. But our substitution, I think we still need to understand the basis of them substituting. That's where you are going to see with Anachakuchichi Vachapedzisira Kutamba, and yet we have got Musendami who didn't play, but he played very well last game. We had Maswanise, he didn't play. We have Fusire. And one of the other things that I noticed is that Galloway surprised everyone. I think Kevyaka Mbuzaro Galloway can play. And from after Galloway came in, Mabora Ngoro Wakumberi, those long balls, Abanguita sees, and he was now starting the game. But now the challenge is with Galloway in, we now need a midfield that is mobile, that can take the ball and then shovel them forward. Because we ended up relying more on marathon than even playing like what we are supposed to be doing.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so, but were we surprised by Galloway really? Because I think everyone knew that Galloway can play, and I don't think we have a better centre back than Galloway
Yeah,
from
I
what
think
True,
we know.
true.
I think yeah. I think, being honest, he knows that we probably use the word surprise, but I don't think he was surprised. So, because he knows football, yeah,
Yeah.
and I think we know what Galloway can give us, because there is a calmness, the composure. Because if you don't have players who are composed in every department, you've got a problem. So even in centre half, you need someone who's composed, even if it's one you've got in midfield who's composed, even if it's one from the forward players who's composed, because especially when they're in the middle, you know, say it's a striker in the middle, a midfielder in the middle, and a centre back in the middle. That's why I always talk about the spine. Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you have people who are confident in that spine, they just calm people down. When sometimes you're trying to whack the ball and they say, no, 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 no. Yeah, and it calls out, and all of a sudden you're about to put it, and you compose yourself. You say, pass it, no pressure, no nothing. And he's talking. Some players make other players play
yeah.
because they calm. If you don't have calm players now, and you have those players who play at 100 miles an hour, even when they need to play at 10 miles an hour, they know otherwise. They'll just keep on doing the same thing. So when you have someone like Galloway, naturally he's just going to make the defenders calmer, our defenders calmer, because he's going to show that, you know what, instead of hiding, yeah, from the goal when Arubi has got the ball, I'm going to show. If he shows, what what does it do? It forces our the other centre halves to open up as well, because the first one
Yeah.
has opened up, he's got the ball, he's got to have options. But if three of them were hiding and they were stood next to the opposition strikers, what does the keeper do? We just put the ball
But
forward.
I was actually angry at Arubi. I'm not sure if it was first half or second half.
Mm,
Um, I think a ball was passed back to him, and the centre backs they opened up. There was another midfielder who opened up in the middle,
mm.
and then Arubi stood on the ball. I think for a second or two, and but still Angola didn't really press him. And for some reason, Arubi chose to just lump the ball. It went straight to the Angola defender who simply chested the ball, and they came back straight into attack.
As it's a disease, he is used to that. So sometimes it can take a long time as well to get it out of his system. It can take a long time as well sometimes to realize that now I actually have a centre back next to me who actually wants the ball. Because if he doesn't have Galloway there, then he's having defenders who just want to defend. And so he's used to that. No one complains because no one is going to mourn at him for lumping the ball up front. But if there's a defender who opens up, everyone is going to say, can't you see he's opening up and you're not giving him the ball? You see, that's the difference. That's the
Yeah,
difference. One player can make a difference to a team by the way that they position themselves. And it's just like, say, you've got a midfielder, just like what Jonah was doing, against Egypt here. where everyone is worried about keeping the ball, and then it comes to him, is chesting it down, is controlling, then casually passes the ball. It
Yeah.
breeds that into others. That's so having Galloway in there was a very good thing, and like you said as well. Obviously, now we don't have that, but when once we have the Munetsi quality, the Munetsi endeavor, I don't know, water quality and all that, I think the future for me looks bright, and one thing that people tend to forget as well is yes, we can criticize players, we can criticize coaches because we want them to do well. It's our country, yeah. But the one thing that we simply ignore sometimes is if it takes Jurgen Klopp years to
Yeah.
build that system with players, and he has to buy players and then get rid of these, buy these, get rid of these, and then all of a sudden he wins the Premier League after sorting it for a couple of years. Who are we to actually think that the expectations we have of our team that we can do that in 2 months? This is the biggest problem that we have. Forget about other things like the mistakes that players have made and all that. We just expect too much from ourselves, and yes, we're always going to try to cry out more, but at the end of the day, if I'm playing, and someone next to me, I do not know what their next move is. That is the difference between a settled team and an unsettled team. Because if I know that I'm playing with Al in midfield, and at the moment that I go and press outside, to stop the left back, the left winger from attacking, I should know that automatically Al comes into he fills in the gap without me even thinking. But we now at the moment we have a side where uh, if I want to drift there, I'm thinking, if I move, what if Al doesn't, fill in for me and the ball is played into that hole and they're attacking us?
Yeah.
The moment, the second or the seconds that you're thinking about that, play is developing. Yeah. So you can't avoid things like that. It's always going to happen until players know each other well. And even now, the coach doesn't even know his best 11.
Yeah.
And he's never going to know his best 11 in this tournament. But what he's trying to do is he's trying to win a football match. And you could be surprised that even right now, the way that we're playing, probably long term, that's not exactly the way that he wants us to play.
Yeah.
But for now, he's got to get a result. And whichever way he's going to get a result might not be pretty, but we are expecting pretty. And it's not going to happen, unfortunately. It's like uh, it's like when Ole came to Manchester United. We had brilliant players, who could win, players who could win us games, yeah. And people ignored the fact that actually, from a tactical point of view, some of the games we were poor. But because we had players who can play fast, counter-attacking, football, all of a sudden, what people believe that we are that great until we started getting exposed tactically. Yeah,
Yeah.
because sometimes you're lucky that a new manager or new coach comes in and you win games and you seemingly like you're playing some good football until things happen, until you settled, and then you realize that probably you're not as great as you thought. And this is what's happening, with Zimbabwe. The expectations are too great for what we actually can do.
Yeah.
Have you support Man U?
Yeah,
Of course, he's a red devil, and they are
I'm
getting
a good
beaten
devil.
by Newcastle today.
Wow, we'll see about that.
I'm coming with the violence. Oliver, welcome, Ray, wherever you are. I hope you are awake. What are you looking? Oh, before we go to the next game, the goal that we conceded, I've noticed that it came in the exact same channel that the same channel that we considered the goal against Egypt, the Mamouche channel. There seemed to be some uncertainty because Takwara stepped out and tried to be a front-footed defender. Fortunately, he lost it there, and then Jalai, I think he was out on the wing, so there was a gap, and Jonah was always gonna be trying to come back, but already it was lost. And for Hadebe to come from the other center back position, it was already too late. Do we have a problem when the ball gets in behind our our CBs?
You see, on that goal, yes, Takwara was at fault. I wouldn't say at fault. He was just slow. His pace was just too slow, and naturally so, because Takwara is of his age. He's a little bit slower. So he was slow to go to close down. Those angachi popocherwa na Musona. You could have closed down quicker. But having had that happen, I think it was Hadebe. I think some guys were saying it wasn't Hadebe, but I thought it was Hadebe.
It's Hadebe.
It
It
was
is
Adebe.
Hadebe.
Yeah.
Yes, I thought it was him. Yeah, he went forward to close, and then he changed his mind, and then he started drifting back. You cannot do that in the box. You cannot do that inside.
Mhm.
Once you decide
Commit.
to go and close down, just commit to that challenge. You see, just don't foul him because we are in the box, of course. But he should have just gone the first time he decided to go forward. That was the right move. But then he changed his mind and then decided to sit back. You cannot sit back in those situations. And talking on the finish, the striker gave Arobi the eyes, and it was a good finish.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah,
good
it
goal.
was a good finish.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because as a goalkeeper, you are looking that he's going on the far post, right?
Yeah,
And he pretended like he was going on the far post, and then he changed and then put it on the near post. It was a good finish.
yeah,
There's nothing to blame on Arobi's part, but
yeah,
I think that's what happened. You see, because as a team, you have to play as a team. Cover for your mates. You see, it's like when you are pressing, you press in twos. Yeah. So if the front man is beaten, then the second man who is following up gets to the second ball, or you close him down, and between the two of you, you get the ball off of him. So this is what he was in the right frame of mind in going to close down Anzan Hadebe.
yeah,
But when he changed his mind, at that moment, it gave vast space to that attacker. And then he had time to decide on his finish, and the rest was
yeah,
history.
yeah.
So
Oliver, did
work
you?
as a team.
Yeah, yeah. Oliver, did you see how Arubi seemed to have saved our lives in the? I think especially in the first half, with the various saves. I think Angola was putting in a lot of crosses that were headed on, and uh, Arubi, how was his performance for you?
I think Arubi played very, very well, and it's expected of any goalkeeper to be doing what he did. But now, the challenge was only that Angola did their homework very well and realized that in order for us to make hay, we need to come from the wings. You'd realize that they tried as much as possible to stretch our defense so that it becomes so thin and then come from one
Sweet.
one of the angles. So if you look at that, they tried, but they started by hammering balls and realized that Arubi is there. Then they then tried to stretch our wings. And the fortunate thing is Lunga was very composed, and though he was not the Lunga that we know, but he was so composed to the extent that he managed to contain the pressure. And on the other side, Jalai, yes, with his experience, he managed to contain them. But we had a lapse of moments that caused all these challenges. If you look at the way how that goal was scored, Jalai was there, Hadebe was there, and still the near post, Mamouche style, the same way.
Yeah,
So I think Angola just went and said, okay, if we could get an opportunity like what Mamouche did, we are going that way. And the second one, let's stretch them. But our challenge now is, I'm just watching. South Africa and Egypt at the moment, and South Africa is actually matching Egypt. So if we are to win our next game, it's going to be on South Africa, because South Africa, the the issue of going to the wings might not be what they know best, but going forward, nepakati, which we know kuti there's Takwara who just goes for it. I think we might actually get something. But if we take a step back, tomorrow in South Africa.
Yeah. I think we need to be on the ball more
Yeah.
versus South Africa and try to frustrate them. So, what are the changes, guys, that you would make
Can
for the
I
South Africa game?
can I
Yeah,
just comment before you, on that
yeah,
goal? Before you move on, yeah.
yeah,
Uh, I wish I had seen the goal again, because
yeah.
so that I can make a very, very informed, situation about what happened.
Should I
But
describe it to you?
y- you know, but from what I saw at the point, yeah.
Yeah,
Um, so Jalai and Takwara didn't cover themselves in glory, yeah. And what happened now is something that happens in football. You can't expect everyone to be perfect all the time, and the ball was flighted into that channel where, because the midfielder is facing goalwards and Jonah is facing, with back to goal. Yeah. So the run that he made, it can be difficult for a midfielder to follow that. Yeah. So that's the reason why Jonah was behind him. It happens.
yeah,
So normally that's when you expect your sweeper or your center half to cover you. When there is, like, it's almost like a third man running, a third
yeah,
man run where the defenders, you can't deal with it as a midfielder, but the defenders can cover you. So no defender helped Jonah in that part. But the chief culprit for me was, yes, mistakes have happened all day, but the chief culprit was what Teenage did. And I know it's unfortunate that we're talking about
it's not
teenage as
gonna
well,
come. It's not gonna come out well.
you know, but the, but there's things that you do in the box and there's things that you do outside the box. If you are mid third, when we say mid third, I think I want people to understand, because maybe sometimes people don't understand what we mean by mid third. So we divide the pitch into three. Yeah. So from the goal line to just beyond the 18 area, if you're defending that, that's defending third. From that part to the area, just to the next 18 area, you come back in again a little bit. That's the mid. That's the mid third. And then the other part, that's the attacking third. So when we're talking about the mid third, we're talking about anything that's probably, if we almost coming to the halfway line kind of thing.
Yeah,
So if in those areas you try to commit yourself and you see, oh, you know what, you probably to do me a 1-2, you delay. Yeah, you delay so that that ball is not passed until someone helps you. You can do that in mid third. You can't do that in the defending third, especially when that person, the moment that you do not, close him, he's going to take a shot. So you can't then say, I didn't go to him because I was worried that he was going to play the ball where I'm coming from. It doesn't matter anymore now. You've got to block it. You have to make sure that at the very minimal, you're stopping that shot from happening. If he lays the ball back, there where you were, so be it. You can't help yourself. But I actually saw that there was another defender. That's why I'm not sure who it was. There was another defender there who actually looked like he could step up to where teenagers come from. But teenage went, I'm going in. He's fully committed himself. Then he went, no, I'm not. That's where the goal was conceded there, because I would rather the ball had been pulled back and that guy scores from the penalty area, from the penalty spot there, rather than, for him to not go. So it's like, we've talked about this even at a low level. This is someone who is saying, I'm picking my man. They scored, but I was picking my man. Yeah. So you do not want to be absolved. You want to be absolved of the mistake because you're saying someone didn't do their job, but actually it's you who should have covered them. So even if it means that the player who you were marking scores the goal, so be it. Once he did that, that was a problem there. He should have gone the moment that he decided that I'm going to block him, and he had actually done the right thing. That was the right thing. He should have gone to him, and he didn't. And obviously, like you were saying with the near post, I would never blame the keeper for that goal because he gave him the eye. It
Yeah,
happens all the time. Gave him the eye because as a keeper, you expect him to carry it in our far, and then he just puts it near you.
yeah.
So Adebe is having a knack of making big mistakes at crucial times, and it's not helping him. I don't know whether this injury, I think with Galloway coming in, they probably is taking himself out of the next starting 11.
Unfortunately, he's taking himself out at a time when it's no longer. He should have actually done that in the first game. Actually, we expected him. It's actually lasted longer than we expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the Musona finish, as a coach, don't you think that Musona would be worth a shot at number 9?
I
Pass
think
now.
so
I
too.
don't, I
Pass.
don't, I don't,
Pass.
I don't think so. I think let's and again, I put it, I put a disclaimer on this because
Put it nicely, please.
people are having too many ideas about things that I'm saying. Yeah, because you could end up hearing that, oh yeah, he's covering for Bonnie, as if Bonnie is my player. Yeah, he's just a player I happen to have defended because he was being under relentless attack for no reason. Yeah. So right. So you have the way that we are playing Bonnie as a focal point. I am not sure that to play Musona forward, he is still capable of playing that focal point, role. Because naturally, you've got to remember, knowledge is someone who wants to be on the ball a lot of times. Knowledge is not going to keep running stupidly like what Bonnie was doing. Because Bonnie is okay with it because that's his style. That's European style as well. With some certain strikers, he was running like a madman. And he
Yeah,
put in a shift. He put in a shift, off the ball. It's like he's running more off the ball than he's running with the ball. Yeah. So I don't think knowledge is that because knowledge wants to be that quality kind of player. So if you are going to play knowledge after 5 minutes of not having the ball as a striker, what is he going to do? You drop deep, and when he drops deep, that's even worse because already our players, want to drop deep. So you've got to leave Boni there as someone who wants to be as high as possible, even if he's not touching the ball. Then knowledge, and it's a tricky one because we accommodated knowledge in a midfield role, but we realized that our midfield wasn't great as well off the ball.
yeah,
So for his quality, maybe we can sort of compromise maybe and again maybe S60 as well because I don't think that he's fit to do 90, which I think the coach did a good job there. But the funny thing is that where people don't realize, you probably hear that people will be saying, why did he take him off? You know, because this is where we say
it's match fitness.
coaches, coaches have what data and information that we don't have. So someone will just be like last week, oh, Musendami has just been pulled off. Dewey has just been pulled off. They've been playing well. You don't realize how much they still have in our uh, in their bodies. And so I think what knowledge did, the quality that he brought, he deserves probably another look in that position, but not at the expense of Bonnie. And also, he can't play with Bonnie because that means that is stupid. It's like you're playing a large and large rather than large and small. Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Was
what I
was
think,
Prince isolated out on the wing today? Uh, It had a few balls, but it didn't seem to have that much of an effect today, except a
Who's that?
few pot Prince do it.
Oh, Prince. Oh,
I think Prince is fine. Prince can play that position from coming out from wide and then
Yeah,
drifting inside. He can do that. Just because he wasn't as effective as he was in the previous game, we can't say that he's a total failure in that position.
yeah,
So the jury's still out on that one. But coming back to Musona, I was thinking Musona can play as a 10, just behind off of Boni, because we
yeah,
need Musona in an offensive position rather than in a defensive position. You see,
mm,
I know he might not be fit enough to complete the 90 minutes in that position, but if he plays maybe the first half and first 60 minutes as a 10, I think will benefit more. This is what I would have liked, like when what I mentioned earlier. I would have loved to see one of the defensive of the three midfielders pushed forward. It was Musona. Push Musona forward. Onotamba just behind Boli. Then wait out two holding midfielders behind him. You see, if we are looking for a goal, that's something we have to go for. Or it could be something that
yeah.
could be done coming with him coming off the bench, Achibaba bench. Then you change the formation to that. Here and just behind Boni. And then but I think he's best saved playing in an attacking role.
I know. I think you're right. I don't think from if we're being fair, I think Musona it's better. It's better he starts. I think it's better he starts and then he comes off rather than
Mhm.
coming on from the bench. Because sometimes many a times when you're playing opposition or any team, legs will be gone in most of the players. Yeah, so sometimes you just need to bring people who are just going to stretch, the side. So I think coming on into the 60th, 65th, 70th minute, you need players who can really stretch, like quick players and all. And I think Musona being there, and even to an extent where you can go probably last 20 or so, you can even take Musona and Boni off, yeah, and have just one lad, who's going to play on the shoulder of the defense, yeah.
The last to
But
defend.
make sure that you're not lumping the ball into the air,
in the air.
like like what we've been
Yeah,
doing, but trying to put the ball on the deck into the spaces
yeah,
away from the
into the
goalkeeper because
space.
the goalkeepers are sweepers now as well. It's got to be
Mm.
for us to play like that. That's why I always insist on Bonnie. For us to play those type of balls, we've got to have a midfielder who is cute, who's clever, who knows how to pass the ball on the deck but away from the goalkeeper because the goalkeepers don't stand on the line now. They stood, by the 18 yard or by the 18 area. If you just put any through ball in there, they're the first ones to get there. Yeah.
Yeah,
So depending on the midfielders we have, and also if we have Musona there, if we have Musona and he's pushing, to play off Bonnie, which is, we need that someone who's got that courage, to leave that hole in there. But then that means Nakamba, especially because he's the one who is letting me a little bit down. He's trying his best, but I'm just saying I think fitness is
yeah,
being a problem with him. If Musona is pushing, the two midfielders have got to be two midfielders who they can they proper craft. They can even try to mark three midfielders as a two. And I keep bringing my team because there's very similarities to what's happening with Manchester United. The reason why Manchester United struggle in that sort of situation sometimes, is that if we had instead of Casemiro and Bruno in there, and we had that Baleba with signed Baleba, and we have two midfielders who can boss it there, who can run in there, it allows it allows Musona then, like in our system, to flourish because he can even cheat. He can even cheat. But the problem is that we are bringing Musona in there, but because we have Mave who's not very fit as well, we are expecting Musona to, as soon as we lose the ball, to really be hustling for the ball in that three. But then does Musona have the energy to hustle in there and we win the ball and he attacks or he ends up being, close to Bonnie? No, he doesn't. You see, so for us to compromise on Musona, these two have got to really do a proper job. They've got to be as fit as they can. But unfortunately, they're not. Or one is not and the other one is. That's the problem.
Yeah, Kev, can you also notice that Musona is being paired by Prince Dube, who naturally is not a midfielder. So in a way, we've created a very big hole. Musona himself is a makeshift midfielder, but he's not naturally that. Prince Dube is also not like that. So in a way, we're left with two defensive midfielders, or Nakamba and Jonah coming too deep, and we don't even have anyone who can play the ball. Because if you are to do that, we need a very creative and intelligent midfielder who can actually be on the center, on the third, on the middle third, to just be distributing the balls. But right now, you find that Musona is actually chasing the ball, and
I can
eh,
I can tell you what to do. I can tell you how easy it is to overcome that. But but then it comes back to being together for a long time to actually understand, what tactics. If you want to do that, Prince has got energy. Yeah, you play in a way that Musona is almost like the one who is playing wide, but not actually playing wide. So his starting position is wide, receiving the ball, while receiving the ball at a half turn. But as soon as we lose the ball, it should be Prince who should be coming inside. And the two Mave Nakamba, if we're being attacked from our left side, they shift to cover that fullback who Musona is supposed to be dealing with. They cover him that, and Prince comes inside. And once we win that ball, they come back into the middle. Prince goes wide. Musona gets the ball. Musona, so you literally allow Musona to cheat in there. And Musona, you know what? If he was doing that, he'll play the 90 minutes because he's got people. You've got to be willing to work hard for Musona to be on the ball. That means you are going to say to him, Iwewe, you're not going to use a lot of energy going this way, going backwards. Your energy, I got to the moment that in a border, you're the focal point, and also you're going to be the one who is going to play off Bonnie as soon as we hit, even if we hit a high ball. So, in terms of energy, 80% of your energy is going to be going forward. But allow him to his starting position to be wide, but you're not expecting him to follow the right back. The right back would be marked by the players who shift into that area. But yeah,
Oliver, what's the current score? Egypt, South Africa?
it's still 0-0, 36 minutes.
No.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we still have a chance if they draw.
Permutations. You're now bringing your calculator.
We need South Africa to win this match, and then we hope we can beat South Africa.
Okay.
You said we need what? We need South Africa to what?
To win.
To win.
Do we need them to win?
If South Africa wins.
I think if they draw.
No.
Egypt too. If South Africa draws.
If they draw, they are going to come out at us all guns blazing. If they win this one, they're going to rest players for the knockouts. But then we have a chance of a win.
But if they win, Egypt will have 3. We have 1, and Angola have 1 point as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think
either one of Egypt and Angola is going to beat the other.
Yeah.
So and they're going to finish on 4 points.
I think because do you know that on paper our group can finish all of us on 4 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, that's
because if they draw, yeah, and we win against South Africa and Angola wins against Egypt, it will be all 4 points.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. But I think we're mainly looking for that third place, the best
third place, yeah.
Best third
place. I believe if we could beat South Africa, we
but
don't have a choice.
A draw wouldn't hurt us, though, would it? I mean, I'm not talking from South Africa, sort of putting the handbrake on, but I'm just saying naturally, a draw wouldn't hurt us. We just need to win our game and
We just need to
see how
win.
it goes. Because remember, on the third place, yeah, only two third placed are not going through. Yeah, there's four.
Yeah,
There's four
mm,
spots for
So
third place. So
exactly.
and none of us have actually conceded like stupid goals. Like we only have -1 goal difference. Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
and anyway, as it stands, the final game we need a win. A draw is not good enough.
No, no, no.
We just need a
So
win.
you see, this is why
Yeah.
I was
So,
thinking
so what are the
we
changes
do
that you'd make out? Any changes
changes in the
from the
team.
starting 11? Yeah.
Obviously, one has already been made. Galloway comes in, Munashe possibly if he's fit. So Galloway and Munashe in the centre backs, Jalai right back, Lunga left back. Then we have the two Nakamba na what's his name, Fabish,
Jonah.
and then yeah, yes, and then Knowledge Paten, and then Bill Antonio on the left, and then Tawanda Maswani so on the right, Boni Macaulay up front.
Okay.
That's how I would think we'll line up like.
Prince mamisa panzeka baba.
Ani?
Prince Dube mamisa panzeka.
Yes.
You,
Okay.
you,
Yeah,
you sub
Pace.
I
Prince
think
to it.
I'm with Al there.
Tabla,
I think Prince can.
yeah,
He's done his bit
can be
and he can
benched.
start from the bench here. I think.
I would put Maswani say or I would take out Bill Antonio and put Musendan based on the experience that he plays in South Africa and knows the people that he'll be playing against and has got a point
Okay.
to prove. So
Yeah,
that
still
being
good.
the case, then I would also be very hesitant to put Knowledge ahead of Rene Mota if he's around, because if you look at the South
But he's
Africa,
not at the tournament.
and
They're
I'm
saying
over.
he could come back.
They're saying he could
He's not
if
yet
he
He
back.
comes
could
back.
come back, but
Mhm.
he hasn't come back. And
Yeah,
even if he comes back, he's not match fit.
Yeah.
I would also still put Fusire there because I think we need a flair of seeing how Fusire can actually match that. Then Musona comes in
You
late.
see, when you are putting Fusire is more of a defensive player. We are now becoming more defensive.
No, but,
So then we come.
whoever thought that some of these players, whoever thought that Jalai could actually play up front midfield? Nobody. But now because we
Yeah,
want
but and then
creativity,
when
that guy can create, Baba. Ask people from Sheffield Wednesday; they will tell you how good he was on the
Yeah,
day.
for City
And
is good.
and Akazinskwa left back. Why? Because he's very and Argu left back. Most of Sheffield Wednesday's games, I've watched three of them. When he's at the left back, you can actually see the way how he overlaps the old Akatea that we used to have, and still has the energy of coming back again.
he
Okay.
plays as a wing back for Sheffield in Sheffield Wednesday.
True.
So wing backs, obviously, naturally
Back three.
they attack.
Mm.
Yes, it's a back three, and then the wing backs push forward. So he is more naturally more attacking in that position. But kana tiri kuda zvekuti tiite defensive attacking wise takumkombera his contributions attacking wise need the contributions that Musona would give the team.
Yeah.
I would think Musona gives the team more attacking prowess than what Fosida could do. If we are thinking
Can
we
I
are
can
going
I can,
defensive,
can I just tell you that Egypt has got a penalty?
Ooh.
VAR
yeah,
confirmed.
Ooh.
yeah, I saw it.
Wow. There we go.
It's getting
Hey,
interesting now.
So panova panetsa.
Yeah, it's getting interesting now. Who dived? Was this Salah who dived?
Who dived?
We know they dived those Egyptians.
Your
Yeah,
your
you can
player
quote
died.
me.
Your player
There's
dived.
your
He
answer.
dived right. Yeah, I know him.
There's your answer. There's
he,
your
he
answer.
knows how to fall.
Like he
there's
always
there's
dives for
someone from the
Liverpool.
audience, Kevi, who's asking you to analyze Chirewa's performance. I'm not sure if you'll watch the minutes that Chirewa came on.
uh, right. And unfortunately, I'm really sorry that at that time I only saw little bits, and I hardly really saw. But Chireo, but the few bits that I saw, it seemed like he was on it today. He seemed like he fancied it. But today, and oh, he was so unlucky as well with
The
the
point
shot.
to
Yeah,
prove.
so yeah, yeah,
The young man
but
has a point to prove.
that's football for you. Football, you've got to make it a point to prove. Uh, uh, Coaches tell you that coaches are not afraid to be called idiots. Yeah, because you want the coach to be called an idiot for leaving you out. Yeah, and you don't do it by mouthing off, but you do it by performance. And he was very unlucky not to score. And I've seen little touches here and there where I thought, oh, you know what, he fancies it. But
Mm,
I can't really give a massive overview on it because I was more like watching and then I'm not watching and then I'm watching and I'm not watching. Yeah.
yeah. So the audience member is saying, people say that Chireo is selfish, but we see in the EPL that there are players like Doku who take the game into their own hands to bring results. I think I kind of get his point, Kuti. As a team, sometimes
That's
you need
one
that
Egypt.
one flair player who, that's 1-0. Okay, Egypt has scored. Uh, you need that one flair player. Of course, he can be on the ball a little bit more than the others, but he, he's not afraid to make that difficult pass. He's not afraid to make that difficult shot, though it has to be balanced. Kuti. If there's someone else who's in a better position, you quickly make the pass to him. I think
Yeah.
with Chirewa, it's something that can come with maturity, with
Yeah.
playing usual
Do
games.
you know? Do
Go
you know
back to Kevin.
With
Go
Chirewa,
back.
you
All
can
right.
contradict yourself. I mean, like I contradict myself sometimes as well with
Yeah,
Chirewa. The simple reason being that on one hand, he annoys me with when he is being selfish, but on the other hand as well, we are not renowned for taking that many times, a pop at goal that many times. So sometimes you just think you just need someone to do it.
yeah,
And maybe he doesn't do it in the right time sometimes, but at least he does it than not do it at all.
yeah, yeah. And
You see,
the other thing that
if
I've
that
noticed,
shot had gone in,
yeah, you go
if
on.
that
Oh,
shot had gone in, we would be all singing praises of him right now. You see,
yeah,
yes, people wanted him to pass the ball to Macaulay Bonne, but when he cut inside and created space for himself, that was a good option as well. It wasn't
yeah,
a bad play at all, and it was a good save by the goalkeeper. But if it had gone in, we would be talking like that was possibly goal of the tournament, because if it
yeah,
had gone in, it was going to go in off the roof.
yeah.
So
There's a
goal.
red card here.
I was
Ooh, for who?
yeah.
Egypt.
Egypt has been red carded.
Yeah.
That game will come
The
out
player.
interesting, right? Wow.
This game was always going to be fireworks, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was always gonna be
So so,
fireworks.
I can't wait for hours. I
so on
think
Chirewaga,
whatever result the South Africa game, hours will be mad. Yeah. South Africa, Zimbabwe.
Yeah, it will be crazy. Yeah,
But
there will be a lot
but
of
if you also
emotion.
look at the way how Chirewa played, I think go back to Kevis comments 3 weeks back before the 2 weeks back before the tournament started. He said Bafana are some of them will come with a lot of firepower, which is what we're actually seeing with Chirewa. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
we are not even exposed to Maswanise, which I think if we had a deadly combination of Maswanise, Musendami, and Chirewa, people were going to run like nobody's business. My defenders will always be on their backs. But at the moment, I think after this tournament, you will not. I tell you, you will not see Chirewa going. He might actually be asked to go to other teams because the way how he has actually played, though it was a short time, the kakukara kaari kuda kuita kugohesa the hunger for to play tells you
Yeah.
a lot. If he gets a very good team besides Wolves, I tell you, we don't see him achienda down the Wolves.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, but
our UKians. Yeah, go on.
ukatarisa ukatarisa that team, that Wolves team, their attackers, wotarisa matambiro anoita Chirewa, and then they tell me that guy haakwane imomo. I don't know kuti vari kutarisa chii as coaches, because when I look at them, hapana mumwe munhu ari kuita sei, who is putting his hand up that I'm going to be the guy who is going to bring you goals. I'm going to be the guy who's bringing you assists.
Yeah,
And then you see on the other hand how Chirewa is playing.
yeah,
The guy is an
yeah,
attacker. He's a natural attacker. You say he
yeah.
causes havoc. He causes mayhem.
Es-
You see,
Especially in the
so
position that they are in, I don't know why they are not even trying.
exactly in the position that they are in, I don't think they really have a choice to be dropping him. But it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. Today I also noticed something. Lunga was very poor on the ball. Off the ball, he's a defender. We all know that he's a good one-on-one defender, but on the ball, the crossing, the passing was a little bit off. Uh, Probably it was that rhythm of getting back into the game after the injury. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
most probably rightfully so. Like you have pointed out, he wasn't good in certain moments, and
Yeah,
especially our crossing. Definitely, crossing was zero. You see, there's a
yeah.
cross that he put, like if he had put two goals, one on top
To
of the
go.
other, it was going to go above the
It
net.
was going to
You
be.
see,
Yeah. And that was
so
very good
yeah,
chance because I think we had three people in the box, two or three
yes,
people in the
we
box.
already
Yeah,
three people had already run into the box, and then he put it way wide. I've never missed Zemura more, in that than in
yeah,
that situation.
yeah,
Zemura would put a ball
yeah,
would fall on someone's head,
yeah. And
but
the
yeah,
the
it
thing that
happens.
we're
You
talking
can't be
about,
sharp all the time.
yeah, that
Mm.
the thing that we're talking about in terms of set pieces and corners that Murwira was wasting. I think in the last 10 minutes, there was a very big chance that was created by Chirewa with an excellent a corner kick that went into the back post and
Corner
was
kick.
headed back in.
Yes,
That was
and Takwara
almost a
almost
goal.
scored.
Yeah, I really
Yeah,
like the
Takwara almost
improvement.
scored from that.
Yeah, and it boggles my
Even
mind why they allowed Murwira to be taking all those set pieces.
even the Fabrice
That's
set
that
piece
that's the
and the Musona.
mystery that's the mystery I've ever had. I try to think of any reason why. Technique. What does Murida actually have that puts him on the ball? To say I'm taking corner kicks and free kicks. Is mind-boggling.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Anyway, guys, do you have anything more?
How did can you tell how did right? I saw a text because when I ended up by having to rush out, and I saw someone who a very unlikely source saying Chimono Chinogona Borage talking about Bonnie. That was a surprise. What? How did he play? I saw him play. 60
Um,
minutes and oh, how did
yeah.
he play the last 30?
There was a chance that he created. The ball was put out on the channel,
Is
and
it the one he put across?
yeah, then
He,
out of
he
sheer
put in a
determination, he
cross,
crossed,
Yeah.
and then
and
Wadi,
then Wadi wasted it.
Wadi, I saw
He
that.
should
Yeah.
have taken a touch and then taken
Mm,
the shot, but he wanted to take the shot first
mm.
time, and then there
Bonnie.
was
There's
I
no
think
power at all.
Bonnie needs someone who has a coaching mindset to be able to understand the way that he plays. Um, there are a lot of little things that he does. There was a time that the ball was up in the air and he chested it into the path of someone. Unfortunately, I think it was Due. He didn't read it. and there
Yeah.
were a lot of little headers that he was winning. So unfortunately,
There,
people think that we are biased towards him, but he has a lot of little things that he does in terms of winning balls.
I tell you, I am not even ashamed because I know that when I talk about football, I say things as they are, and I've got no horse to to bet for, because any of them they all the same to me. I don't suffer fools from any play. If Bonnie was playing rubbish, I'll tell you he's playing rubbish. But what Bonnie brings, I said this in one of the things about how that guy has played for Charlton, for QPR, and all that. You know, do you know people actually take for granted what it means?
Yeah,
People take for granted what it means. You don't just play for those teams. You don't just play, especially as a striker. They don't just sign you. You
yeah,
really have high levels for you to be able to do that. And what now? What now that guy shows is that on the little things that he does, uh, certain players who are cute there will actually be made very good players by Boni. He's going to do a job that most don't appreciate. But if there's clever players around him, they'll always be grabbing the headlines because he does those little things, but it's about understanding, it's about the game understanding, it's about when he goes even for a header, he just doesn't go for a header. He's already looked, but to see where he intends to hit that ball with. So how many times he's flicking the ball and he's seen someone making a run. So the difference now with our strikers is, or our forward-thinking players, Bonnie has gone for a header. Yeah. They want to see where he's going to head the ball first and then react. That's not how you operate. As a striker, the natural instinct is that you assume that he's going to win the ball. By assuming that he's going to win the ball, even if he doesn't win it, it's okay. But you would have made that run.
Exactly.
So by not assuming that he's going to, win that, by the time you react because he's won the ball, you is split second late because defenders are in that position. So everything that it does is quite methodical. And I've seen even there's a little touch that he did, and it's almost like a craft. It wasn't a craft him, but he flicked the ball, with his feet. It nearly, I think it was just beyond the halfway line, slightly on the right side, and he just flicked the ball, to our player. And I'm thinking, if you were very late on what he was going to do, you were going to be through because he then tried, but to ping the ball past the defender, and the defender went in for a tackle. I think it was actually a foul. Yeah, but I'm thinking, is those things in a way people don't realize how a split second in the game makes a difference, and that guy is never going to be the he's man of the match because he's done this, he's scored goals, he's done all this year, but he can make other players shine. But the players are not up; they are way too behind, or they are not close enough. They're not close enough to benefit from the work rate that he puts in.
I see. That's exactly true. This is why I was saying, couldn't we need Musona just behind him? You see, if Musona was playing closer to
Yeah,
Boni, those balls that he was heading back for those guys, he would be on it, like right in an instant.
yeah,
You see, because Musona can read the game.
yeah,
Can by now he now knows what Boni is trying to
yeah.
do or what
Musona would.
he'll be
Yeah,
doing. Musona will know exactly what is going to happen, where he's going to put the ball before he even puts the ball there, and
yeah.
Musona will be there. You see, that's the advantage that we'll need to take take advantage of.
And that's the reason why sometimes you realize that, I think we were talking about it as well, that's with players, sometimes you end up picking slower, older and slower players simply because they might be slow in their legs, but they're quick there. And that makes a
Their
difference. So
brains, yeah.
Musona could position himself where maybe someone who's quick wouldn't be positioned themselves into. So Musona, I can bet you, I can see Musona with those flicks. I can see Musona hitting volley up, volley straight away,
Yeah,
from all
exactly.
that because he would know where
From
to
that,
be.
he had
Whereby
exactly.
with these lads, they've got pace, but they don't know where to be. What to utilize.
Mm.
The
The
strength
chance.
that Bonnie brings into the side. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, but
What has happened to OJ?
OJ, I think. Because people were just dropping, is he lost network or something? Yeah.
No,
Yeah, some probably.
I've got to go somewhere, so I was just preparing to do that.
Utamba Pabas.
All right.
Because
That's
of Tampa
Babasa.
Yeah,
Babas.
No.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
Do you have
so,
anything else to share?
mm,
Yeah, no,
so,
no, no, not
so
really.
I'll ask Al, um,
Mm.
how in in overall, the game. What do you
Mm.
say? Did we do okay? Did we not do okay? Were we half and half? What do you say? About the game?
I think how we played, I think overall we had a good game. We played well. We would love for our strikers or our forwards to take their chances when they come because otherwise Tingaleta win a game here 2-1 because my chances are wasted. But defensively at times we set in too deep, but we went too bad. You see, we I can see improvements from the previous game. There was vast improvement from the Egypt game and this game. We played so much better. You see, I was looking with the coach is not going to be brave enough and go for it, but today he was. And, kudos to him. And then he started with starting with the formation with the formation that he started with. It was an attacking. It wasn't a back three or putting too many defensive players. It was good. And then I liked the way we played. We could have on another day we could have won this game, but it wasn't to be. But yeah, I can see improvements already.
Yeah, yeah. Did he make another sub after Chirewa? Because that part I didn't see. After Chirewa ended because he put two. Yeah, Chirewa and
Chirewa and
Wadi. Yeah.
Wadi. Yeah, he put Navaya for Boni later on, like
Okay.
2 minutes to go. Yeah,
Mm.
but
How
nothing much
many? How
came out
long
of
was
it.
it left then?
88 minutes.
88. Okay, and
So
at that
I think he
time
played
about so
only
it's about
six
6 minutes.
minutes.
Yeah.
About yeah.
Okay.
So I think the game was done anyway. He was just
Yeah.
anticipating.
But you know what? The important thing is that we've given ourselves a chance.
Yeah, exactly. And we are still in the
Yeah.
game. We are
Yeah.
still in with a chance to go
Yeah.
to,
Because
which is good.
because especially after conceding that goal, we could easily be thinking we're going home. We're
Yeah,
just going to play. The last match. Just to participate, but to actually think because I have and this is something that I struggle sometimes with people because there's some people who already think that we're out. There's people who think that we can never win against South Africa, and uh, and I find it
absolutely.
funny because South Africa we've only just played them and they failed to beat us. It
Mm.
doesn't matter where they are.
Not only once,
Yeah,
twice.
twice. Yeah. So I don't get the idea that we do not have a prayer. We can't. We cannot even have a chance. Because uh,
Yeah,
we did that with Nigeria. We did that with South Africa. And
with
what
South
makes
Africa.
it what makes it difficult that maybe we just instead of just drawing, we get that goal.
Just
Even
believe
if
in
they have most
yourself.
of the ball and all that, but we just have the ball in the net, and we defend
Yeah,
because sometimes as much as I understand that these teams will be technically and from a ranking point of view and everything, they're better than us.
much better.
But in Jugai,
Mm.
you know, in Juga, sometimes
Yeah.
you know what, you just win these games. Like we were saying that if it was over a season, Plymouth are not going to beat Liverpool all the time, but they beat Liverpool. Grimsby are not going to beat Manchester United all the time, but they beat them.
All the time, but
So
they did. Yes,
sometimes
exactly.
small margins, things can happen. This is like an FA Cup. You
Things
know,
can happen.
South Africa can just be
Exactly.
beat. And actually, to even talk about Plymouth, about Grimsby, we actually undervaluing or undermining ourselves because we've done it before. It's not like we're saying, oh yeah, we're playing against Argentina, we might get a draw or something. We have drawn with these
Yeah,
teams, Nigeria, South Africa,
we have.
twice, both of them.
Mm,
Yeah. So that
so
means whatever people think, there's something about us that can get a result.
yeah,
Mm,
definitely. We just need to believe in ourselves that we can do it, and we'll do it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
we'll win. Like I was saying, against South Africa, we just have to go all out,
yeah,
all guns blazing. Just go for it. Don't even think about being defensive, because even if we get a 1-1, we are out anyway. We get a draw. So why? We might as well go for a
yeah,
win.
yeah, yeah. We need to.
Might as well just go for a
We've
win.
got
Yeah,
nothing to lose. We have to go for it.
we have nothing to
Mm.
lose. Wakambonzwa nyaya yekunzi chibhakera chegwara
Chikupake aumuke
ndo chachinofanira kukanda
aumuke because chinoziva kuti ukamuka ipapo unondura.
exactly. Ukamuka ipapo unogona kuzondipedza bhati saka ungomuti ga.
Ndaona OJ aisa
Yeah,
message apa
I
achiti he's
think
got to go. Yeah, so yeah, but I think
he's got to go.
it's been
Yeah,
alright.
all
Yeah,
right. We'll
no,
be.
all right. Yeah, no, take care then. Yeah,
All right,
all
you as
right.
well,
Yeah,
man.
okay, bye.
Thanks,
Ta.
my gents. Thanks.
Okay, cheers. Cheers.
Great.
Thanks.